For those of you new to it, it's Lakshman with an N. Lakshman, 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 Ong, O-N-G, Ong, Ong, Lakshman. And, 11 recitations. We've been doing 22 for a while. I don't know, probably at least 1,000 days now, because time is flying by. So that's you start to get these recitations of these mantras. This is a very unique mantra. Yogi Bhajan only taught it one time, and it has a lot of power to basically detoxify you from any kind of misappropriated ideas about what it would mean to be successful or to be wealthy or to be happy or to be in a certain, all the things that we want. We have ideas about that. And a lot of times our ideas there's dissonance between our conscious ideas and the subconscious patterns. There's dissonance between what we think we want and what we actually need / want. So there's a lot of, so that dissonance, this mantra goes in and starts to create harmony where the dissonance is. And this is one of the, this is a real kind of issue that people have that oftentimes creates such a crippling effect when you get something that you thought you wanted and you realize that maybe it wasn't what you thought it was going to be. This is why in Rama Business School we give the teaching, and I won't stop giving it because it's really one of the biggest obstacles between you and some of the things you think you want, which is that you haven't prepared for your success. You haven't planned for your fame, whatever that means, but you haven't actually made a real concrete kind of plan for what's going to happen when the thing you think you want happens. Because I was saying this, I think they put it up on the Instagram. I put it up on the Instagram. That's right, me, this one. So there's so many of those things going on, I can't remember. Which is that all the things that you think you want, all the different levels of all that, good relationship and maybe a family and, a certain type of career and a certain type of success and a certain type of accomplishment, all those things require a lot of chi, a lot of energy. And once you, one of the things that we have that's, kind of a huge situation is once you kind of are able to get the thing happening, the chi required to continue to maintain it in the trenches, that's the real yogic power. It's the chi in the trenches. But every level of society. But, this is, you have to prepare for this kind of stuff because being able to really hold, there's a concept, then there's a vision, then some of the things start to happen that you've been holding in the vision and the manifestation, those things start to happen. And it requires chi to face the things that will come up when your life gets bigger. So and we don't prepare for that. So what happens? Well, our businesses go out, we lose the relationships that we really, had wanted so badly. We mess those things up. We're really good at that. And, we do all sorts of things these are the things we're expert, very, very good at it. So it's really, and it's, if you want to think about it, forget about spirituality, forget about manifestation, forget about all these kind of concepts that have become very big in the New Age vernacular in the past 20 years. Forget about all of that. What is actually required is the technology to cultivate chi, so that you can hold a vision and then allow it to fill into the etheric kind of constructs that basically that's required of any visionary or any person, any human. We're creators, so you're holding kind of an etheric construct of your next relationship or your promotion or having a child or whatever the things you want to do, all those kinds of things. You're creating an etheric construct, you're holding that, and then you're infusing it with your kind of prayer or vibrational frequency, which is what the mantra is, or you're infusing it with your ideas. It's the same thing. An idea is a wavelength. We get that, right? Mantra, a wavelength. Idea, a wavelength. Okay, and then how do we get that into a action situation? Well, that's always the situation here on the planet. How do we move, these etheric things into 3D? That's what we're basically, the human incarnation is a channel for that from heavens to earth. That's what the human incarnation is how do we take things that are, kind of these etheric or visionary concepts or ideas, or just keep it practical, just wanting, somebody to come into your life that's your next relationship. In order to do that, you have to hold a certain kind of etheric construct for that. And what's going to keep you able to do that when things aren't necessarily going your way? Chi, energy, power, vitality, breath. Because I don't know who told us, this is the issue with the New Age parenting, like who told you everything was going to be perfect and nothing was ever going to happen and you're the second coming of Christ? Who told you that? Your New Age parent, that's who told you that. And so we have a whole generation of, I was saying to somebody, I was saying because the parent told the millennial, the 20-something, you need health insurance. They didn't get health insurance, something happened, now the parent's going to come and swoop in and save them. And I was, yesterday on a diatribe about how I just love the way my mom parented me, which was like, something's wrong. Okay, good luck with that. You know what I mean? It's like, that makes strong people. She's like, yeah, love you back. Call me in a while. Just don't bother me too much. That's a good parent in my opinion, because you're making the person become their own person, right? But so we have a little, we have some things around that. And of course, I'm not a parent, so I'll go on and judge people endlessly about parenting. Somebody asked me a question about parenting at my talk at, somewhere that I just was at, and I was like, you can go on my YouTube and hear me judge people endlessly about parenting because I don't have any children. But no, we have to, part of the kind of the yogic science of utilizing these technologies is we have to parent ourselves. And Yogi Bhajan says you have to become the parent of your own success. You have to become the parent of your own happiness. You have to become the parent of your own vitality. Or, he puts it in kind of, you have to become the father of your success. You have to become the mother of your own kind of emotional power. So that, you have the kind of proper channelization of your emotional energy. That's what being a yogi is. All the rest of this is a bunch of noise. I was surprised, I go to these yoga festivals, nobody's breathing. What are they doing? You know what I mean? The whole point of any kind of practice like this is you're cultivating enough energy to then prepare, not even to deal. Like we can deal, we've talked about this for millions of years now. Yes, the dealing power is very important. So when the challenges come up and the things happen in your life, you have the energy and the kind of wherewithal to handle them in a graceful way. But beyond that, preparing for your success, preparing for the things that are, preparing for the best case scenario instead of the self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, on a collective level, we have to get really good at this very quickly. So we have to start preparing for the solving of the insurmountable problems that are facing this planet. We have to start preparing that we as a human civilization are going to solve these problems. And we're going to create a new type of experience here on the planet. But we have to prepare for that. Instead of preparing, you have the preppers, the people who prepare for the apocalypse, which I'm not into. It's a polarity planet. Just keep prepared all around. But you also have to prepare for these things are going to get solved, and the whole structures that are kind of in place that have not really worked or served us, that those are going to get deconstructed and new ones are going to come up, and that the genius and the creativity of the human being is more powerful than anything. And so we have to prepare for that. So instead of preparing for all the doomsday stuff, so we have to prepare for that. So this is, it's a collective thing, it's a personal thing, and this is what our practice is for. This is what we come and do. Now, the next couple, we have a huge kind of cosmic window that's happening. There's lots of energy for this, so I feel like the winds are in our favor. And I found out, I love the things I find out in like weird places. Francis came to my class in New York, and I was like, so good to see you here. And then I find out, you drive an hour to get here every morning. I didn't know that. That's pretty impressive. I'm sorry, I'm making a blush, but that's impressive because you have to. There's a lot of things, but let's just start with one thing. In order to really make some progress, you have to have that kind of desire, and nobody can teach you that. You have to be hungry for your own progress, for your own transformation. You have to be hungry for it. And if you're not, it won't sustain. You may have a flash in the pan, but you're not going to have a sustenance of your own transformation. You have to be hungry for it. I was impressed with that, Francis, but I didn't find it. We had to go to New York to find that out. But it's easier to get to the New York studio than come here every day. But no, it wasn't. Okay. But so you have to have that kind of hunger. That's part of and that's going to fuel you to get over in the trenches to get some shit done and to move the ball forward and upwards and onwards and just do better today than you did yesterday. I saw this very touching video of, I think it was Serena Williams. Have you seen this? She had to tap out. She was in a match yesterday, I think, and did she retire completely from tennis yesterday? Okay, I wasn't sure. But the woman who beat her because she had an injury and had to retire, she went up to her and gave her a hug. These are marks of a civilization and a goodness and humanity and women are the leaders of this. So that's why this has to happen in this age, because our limbic nervous systems are different than men. So that's why the kind of the divine feminine in all of us has to rise up, because that kind of tending and befriending is this is kind of the new that's the new frequency of this age. So the only thing we have to compete against is ourselves. I'm just going to do better than I did yesterday. I'm hungry for it, and I'm preparing for it. Those are all kind of foundations of a successful and happy person. But you have to parent yourself into that. This is part of that kind of growing up situation we have to do. It has nothing to do with chronology, because there's a lot of like really old, little, tiny, annoying babies all over this planet, to totally that kind of immaturity has created the issues we have that we're inheriting. And so now we have to grow up a little bit. So we're going to work with these cosmic events this week because we have a big kind of opportunity. And I think all this summer's been very cosmically active. So everything's changing really quickly. So we just, let's keep up now. We got to keep up. So we'll work. We have a transit today. We have a big kind of Venus transit in the next couple of days. Then we have the full moon on Thursday. And all of this is, the only reason we care is because it's an opportunity for you to take some of this kind of energy that's coming onto the planet, this love frequency or this opening that's coming onto the planet, and utilize it pragmatically in your own life. That's really what these kind of cosmic events are. And we've been doing that for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. All of the monarchs, all of the great kind of empires, all of the people in power, all of the kind of constructs of power for the past thousands and thousands of years in different iterations have used the cosmic events as days or windows to create certain effects. Are we aware of this? It's why the royal babies are always born on full moons and stuff like this. Just Google it. You got a mother Google right there for you. So these cosmic, so as yogis, we use these events too. these times to kind of really do some directional kind of transmitting to wherever the self-fulfilling prophecy in the positive way, or as Yogi Bhajan calls it, the positive imagination. So we positively start to create this power of and preparation of the goodness and the mercy and the grace of the human civilization, and it is the order of the day. And the majority of humans on the planet are interested in living this way, not the other way around. So you just have to remember that and just keep up. Okay. All right. So we'll use these next 3 days, and then we go into full moon on Thursday. I'm doing a workshop in the morning. Tasia's doing a workshop in the evening. And then my classes on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are all a part of a program I'm doing. It's our world premiere of Parliament of Victory, which is a 4-day accelerator where I'm taking people and their visions and their ideas and their businesses and their life things and all this kind of stuff, and just driving that shit home. 4 days here, and I'm really excited about it because we know it works, and this stuff is, we're very lucky to have this technology and some of the other things we're going to be doing. So in the mornings, there'll be open classes, but they're workshops because it's a part of a very kind of interesting and powerful program, but you can drop in for the morning class, and it'll be 2 hours, 9 to 11. All right, so that's happening. And then we're doing a melon cleanse next week. Yesterday is because I decided, I'm going to start the melon cleanse yesterday. Because I want to make sure you guys are going to be okay. So this is how my melon cleanse diary went. 3:30 a.m. I'm on the melon cleanse, day 1. Lukewarm shower. God, I forgot. You just can't get a cold shower around these parts. We're in Vancouver, and because the showers were cold, vibes were high. It was so good. But lukewarm shower, and then off to the Sadhana Olympics, and 31 minutes of Sakriya, and then I lied down, and then I was like, I'm gonna take another nap. So I got up, and in between my Shavasana and my post Sadhana nap, I decided. So it's like 6:38 a.m. Eat juiced a bagel. 10 a.m. when I wake back up. Did I eat that juiced a bagel? So, this yogic science of cleansing around here. But no, we're starting, we did this last year, and we're very excited to do it again. But this time we're going to do it as a group in studio. So there's a PDF, there's a bunch of stuff that you can get online. Just check our social. We'll be posting about it today. And then you can come to the detox classes all next week. And we'll be teaching special kind of detox stuff. And we're partnering with a couple local amazing farms. So I found these amazing little serving size heirloom watermelons. They're like your own little personal pizza. So we'll have those, and we'll just we'll go for it next week. So and it's a day of cantaloupe, then it's a day of watermelon, then you do some papaya and drink some lemon water, then you go back to watermelon, and then you finish with cantaloupe. It's pretty amazing. I mean, amazing actually. So we'll talk more about that as well. Okay, so that's our plan. Bring the palms together. Okay. This technology, even if you came and you didn't have a certain type of destiny, or even if you came, Yogi Bhajan said some people don't have an arc line. Some people don't. That's how, kind of the incarnations, or how new the soul is, or how, whatever happens, our checkered incarnational past. You got some people who ran into some trouble along the way. Something happened along the way. Even if you don't have an arc line at all, which is basically your iCloud, your Akashic records, your iCloud of incarnational accomplishment and all sorts of other information that you're carrying with you from lifetime to lifetime. Even if you didn't have an arc line, which means the destiny is very kind of small, or you weren't destined for great things, that you can create it through the technology of Kundalini Yoga. So then he gave this. 80% of the people on the planet, human incarnations, don't do what they came here to do. And it's 100% of the time because of childhood anger. Childhood kind of basically familial patterns that they didn't have enough chi to get over. If you have a problem in your family and you have enough chi, you should be able to blow by it literally in one breath. Who cares? You don't have to live with the people anymore. It's over. I mean, seriously, who cares? And if you have enough chi, you can blow this. This just blows the psychotherapeutic model out of the fucking water. If you have enough chi, in one breath, all that stuff can just leave you. Who cares? You can live your own life. But I mean, adults who were well into their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, they're still carrying around all this kind of nonsense that's not even theirs. So that's boring. So we would like to change, wouldn't we? Don't you want to change now? Aren't you inspired? So 80% of the population doesn't do anything. They basically, zombie out the incarnation, and that's the end of it. And we need more of the population to not do that, because we need a higher elevation and evolution of the human species. So 80% of the population, and 100% of the time, it's because they don't have enough energy to get over the childhood wounds. We get the equation now? That's it. It's that simple. Something happened to you when you were very, very young. It was called childhood. I had this, kind of spiritual. I met this spiritual teacher before I met Yogi Bhajan, and that was his whole rap. Was like, we get into the thing, and everybody was having sex with each other and stuff. Not me, of course, but and it was a whole, it was theatrics, and the whole kind of thing was something happened to you when you were very, very young, and it's like, yeah, childhood. And it sucked. And your parents, were doing their best and everything, went wrong, okay? Some people more wrong, some people less wrong. Some people really had a traumatic childhood. Some of us just had, some very first world problems. That's the kind of spectrum, right? So, but your failures or your inability to really bring the thing through and have a happy and enjoyable incarnation is 100% of the time because you can't get over this stuff. All right, so let's get over it now, but you got to put a little work in. You ready? Thanks so much for listening to another lecture on reality riffing. These are conversations and topics that I think are very important to discuss. If you enjoyed, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and share with your friends and your family. If you also want to continue to listen, bigger lectures and classes and other experiences are available on gurujagat.com.